because you can shoot the basketball, because your offense is pretty. That's a different level of tenacity that you have to bring to the game, and I think that's something that this team possesses.
Coming into the game, I feel like we all believe in ourselves. We have confidence. Just that being said, we have a heart. We just want to win.
And just knowing that, we're here and we have a job to do, and that's to win. We're going to do everything. We're going to give everything that we got until we get that result.
It's all about winning. We know what we face. We know who they are, but we're here to win, and that's the thing about it is we're not just going to say, oh, we're happy to be here.
We've proven that we can win anywhere and under any situation or circumstance. So game one is going to be fun for us to try to come in with our experience and take control of the series right away.
Time for Stephen A's State of Mind. Before I bring my man Brian Windhorst into the mix, it's time for my state of mind going into game one. And it's very, very simple. Obviously, you look at Kawhi Leonard, we've recognized he's established himself as a superstar in this game. Steph Curry is not anything to sneeze at, in case you forgot. The best shooter on the planet, the best shooting backcourt that we've ever seen in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They're in the mix, but I think more attention needs to be paid to the reserves, those supplementary parts that both teams have. In the case of the Golden State Warriors, yes, you've got Boogie Cousins coming back. He averaged 16 and 8 in 30 games that he played this season before going down in game 2 of the Western Conference first round against the Clippers. He's supposed to be back tonight. We'll see what he does. But pay attention to Kevon Looney, to obviously a Quinn Cook, to an Alfonso McKinney, to a Sean Livingston, to an Andre Iguodala, and what roles they play. Because Toronto, being the stout defensive team that they are, that they're going to be on lock against Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. You take away those two shooters for the Golden State Warriors. It's not Kevin Durant that you have to lean on now, the two-time reigning NBA Finals MVP. It's guys like Iguodala, who's an NBA Finals MVP. It's Livingston, guys like that, who obviously have, been caught up just a little bit by Father Time, if not more than that. So those are the kind of things that you got to pay attention to. In the case of the Toronto Raptors, a guy like Fred VanVleet coming off the bench, shooting 82% from three-point range over the last 3 games, hitting 14 of 17 three-point shots. Can he do that in this NBA Finals Series? Can Kyle Lowry average nearly 20 points per game in this Finals Series? If you're Nick Nurse, do you put them both on the court together when you've got to defend against Steph Curry? These are the kind of things that you've got to worry about. If you are the Toronto Raptors, obviously you got home court advantage, so that helps. You got a closer in Kawhi Leonard, so that helps. But you gotta look for what these guys are going to be able to do, whether it's coming off your bench or starters that are secondary options. That's my take on it. That's my state of mind going into game one. It's time to talk to my next guest, our NBA analyst extraordinaire, the one and only Brian Windhorst is in the house. Brian, you heard what my state of mind is. What's your state of mind as it pertains to the Warriors and the Raptors and what they need to do in game one?
Talking to the coaches from both sides, talking to the front offices, talking to the players the last couple of days. What we're watching for early in this game is how the Warriors do against that Raptors defense. The Raptors defense got them here. They are one of the best defensive teams, if not the best defensive team the Warriors have faced in this entire 5-year run in the finals. They have a couple of former Defensive Player of the Years in their starting lineup, Marc Gasol, Kawhi Leonard. They are stocked with long, smart, skilled, defensive, experienced players. They gave the 76ers and Bucks a hard time. Can they stop one of the greatest offenses of this era? If they can slow them down, especially without Kevin Durant, Stephen A., we are going to have a series.
Well, the offense is expected to be potent no matter what, but adding Boogie Cousins to the mix, assuming he can give you anything, obviously is a plus for the Golden State Warriors, Brian Windhorst. Before I get to you, Steve Kerr, the head coach for the Warriors, spoke about Boogie Cousins' return earlier today.
Do you have any sense like what his workload might be for that?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to tell you. I feel bad for him. I'm happy that he's back, but I feel badly for him because, you want to be in the finals. You want to be in the best shape and on top of your game that you can possibly be. And, it's so that, life doesn't work that way. It's not always perfect.
Wendy, you heard what Steve Kerr just had to say. You see the numbers right there. 29 minutes, a plus 22 differential when Cousins has been in the lineup, shooting 55% from the field, 130.5 offensive efficiency to 87.3 defensive efficiency. Boogie Cousins, what do you believe he adds to this Golden State Warriors offense?
To read between the lines of what Steve Kerr just said there and what is said privately the last couple of days, Stephen A., I don't think he wants to play him that much. I think he respects the fact that he's worked so hard to come back from the injury. He feels bad that he can't be at 100%. He's worried about messing up what his team has going, which I want to remind you is a 6-game win streak where they have demolished the competition, dating back to the way that they handled the Rockets without Kevin Durant all the way through the Western Conference Finals. They didn't have Boogie. Steve has used the word to me, this is a delicate situation, which I am translating to mean I don't want to mess our flow. I would not expect to see Boogie unless they fall behind big time tonight.
You know how that sounds, Woody. It sounds like it's almost a charity case for crying out loud. We're playing Boogie Cousins because we know what he can do when healthy, but the fact that he isn't healthy and this is his first time ever in the postseason, let alone an NBA Finals, we feel we owe it to him to give him an opportunity to go out there and play. That's entirely different than saying, man, we need him in order to win this series, isn't it?
They have to respect the fact that he took a much smaller contract than he could have got elsewhere to even be with this team. They have to respect the fact that he worked so hard. They thought he wasn't going to play in the postseason. He just worked really, really hard to overcome that injury, which was a really bad injury that we thought was season-ending for sure. But they're playing so well without him. And Stephen A., as you know better than anybody, this is what the Warriors have been talking about internally over the last week as they've watched Boogie get closer to playing. This is the NBA Finals. This is not the time to handle, being nice. If they get behind in this series, or if there's a situation where the Raptors are switching on them defensively and they're having trouble with that switch, he can be a countermeasure. But I don't think heading into this series that he is part of the primary game plan of the Golden State Warriors.
Wendy, when they talk about the Toronto Raptors, obviously you're talking and alluding to what the Golden State Warriors looked like in the last 2 games against the Houston Rockets, or the last game and a half, rather, and of course in the series against the Portland Trailblazers. When folks talk about the Toronto Raptors, they talk about their athleticism, they talk about their length, they talk about their ability to defend collectively. Aren't the Golden State Warriors concerned about going up against the Raptors without a guy like Boogie Cousins to lean on to some degree?
It's a fair question. My sense being around the Warriors is that they are supremely confident coming into this series that they can continue their strong play from that last series and a half. I will say this. Steph Curry was in a slump. Remember, before Durant got injured, he was in a slump for about 5 or 6 games. If he goes back into that slump, which is possible, look, he's not going to make shots at this kind of percentage forever. They're going to need some offense from somewhere, especially with Durant out. If that is the case, then I think you go to Boogie. But again, I think he's a plan B or plan C, not part of plan A coming in.
I don't believe in putting reporters, especially reporter extraordinaires, on the spot in terms of inside information. I know you got sources to protect, but damn it, that doesn't apply to predictions. Wendy, who do you have in game 1? Give it to me.
I want to see if the Raptors defense can hang with it. If they don't play well, if Kawhi doesn't bring it, because Stephen A., this is Kawhi's chance. This is his chance to let everybody know where he is in the pantheon of NBA history. To pull off a victory in this series would put him with the greats. It would put him up with LeBron in 2016. He does that starting tonight. He delivers that type of game. He can get the Raptors out front, especially if Steph cools off a little bit from his previous hot streak.
Brian Windhorst reporting and commentating live from game 1 of the NBA Finals, Scotiabank Arena. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Talk to you soon. Coming up next, lots more to come on SportsCenter from game 1 of the NBA Finals. Look at my man Mark Jackson. He's up next, looking all adapted. That's Queens in the building, y'all, in case you didn't know. Queens, New York. That's Queens, New York in the building. He'll be on with us next, live from game 1. Don't touch that dial.
Hours in, the hard work for this.
For all the people that have won one, it's the greatest accomplishment, and you never can take that away.
The trophy represents number 1. That's what it's about.
That's it, coach.
Still a dream right there.
It looks so much better in person, too. Oh, man.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 238.